Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon. As a part of the microservices Java example series, today we will go through the Spring Cloud config server. So before I get into the technical example, so let us understand the concept behind it. For the series examples, you can refer to my earlier videos where I'll be adding all the details or given all the details in the comments as well. Okay, let us understand what is cloud config server and why it is required. So cloud config server is nothing but a centralized configuration which we need to make for multiple microservice examples. Suppose in a microservices you have n number of microservices and all share a common configurations like probably the database or maybe the service discovery or maybe something else or maybe your username and password or your tokens and other things. So that if you start configuring each and every microservices, it is going to be a very hectic, and it is not a right way to do it, because you have to do a changes in each and everywhere whenever there is a small change as well. So this cloud config server comes into a rescue where you can just configure at one place and every else or everybody in the other microservices, like all the microservice in the whole ecosystem will read from there. So instead of you making a changes at n number of places, you will make a change at only one place and that will reflect in everywhere. So that is a simple use case which I'm trying to explain here. So this is the dependency you require. To make your configs centralized config server. For any of the microservices, you can make a centralized config server, and you can make a configuration in the YML file. Currently I'm running it on 8065 port, and as I said, like, it will allow us to configure all the common configuration in a single place as a low maintenance and easy to update at once, so you can just update at once. So we will execute a use case like I want to register all my microservices to the app discovery, like nothing but a service discovery. My project is called as a app discovery for that, and that is running in the 8761, and catalog service and the order and payment service are the two microservices which I am going to register for our cloud config server. So let us see the example. So I'll see that I'll just directly go to the as cloud config server. So in the cloud config server, this is the build.xml build.gradle what I have. So you can see that I just added the dependency over there. This is my cloud dependencies version and the dependencies. This is dependency because this is my this is going to act as a server for this example. Okay, now I'll go to my application.yml. As I said, this project is running on 8065. This is the cloud config server as application name. I just given it as a native as a profile. So this is the important one. How do you configure your configurations, like maybe where the location, how it search for your configuration. So what I did is like cloud config server native. This is the naming convention, and the location, like I'm asking, like, look for this path for any configuration if it exists. So what is this path? In the class path of the project and the common config /common config. So this is nothing but like slash resources and everything you give as a class path, right? This is the common config. So what I did is I created a common config and I created a application.yml file there. So whenever you execute this project, it will look for a application.yml normals, and then just it will look for the configuration path where you configure all your configurations. That is nothing but common config.yml. So you can see I just registered a URL as a for app discovery, like a service discovery URL here, like Eureka, and I also configured my database configurations here, which I'll explain in coming tutorials. So let's see, like if I made a change here, or if I added here, like to register any application or any microservices which will integrate with a cloud config server, will be registered with Eureka. That is the simple use case, like, because I want my all microservices to be registered in Eureka, so that I need to add this code in each and every microservices. So instead of that, what I did is like I added in the cloud config server, and in any one of my microservices, I'll just access this cloud config server to make sure that I'm going to register with the Eureka. So now let us go to one of the microservices like a catalog service. If you go to catalog service, let us see what you require as a part of the dependency to make it access, or to make it happen, to access those credentials or configurations from our cloud config server. So this is the main important one. As a client, you need to register, or you need to integrate with the cloud config server. You need to have this dependency. That is nothing but cloud config, like Spring Cloud Starter config. In the server, what you had in the server, you had cloud config server. So it's just a server and you have a config, so that it will read from there itself. You can see that this is the configuration or a dependency which I added in my one of the microservices, so that I can access all the configuration for my cloud config server. You can see I already started this service as well, like the catalog service and then the order and the payment services both. Let us go to the application.yml. Let's see how we can access this. We need to make few changes in your application YML so that you can access the path of cloud config server. So you can see I just added a one configuration here, or maybe the path here, what it should be. This is the path how you access your config. That is nothing but Spring config import optional config servers. It is nothing but saying where is your config server, HTTP 8065, because in 8065 my config server is running, where you configured all your common configuration. That's it, nothing else. You just need to mention where where this microservice has to look for the configuration. That is nothing but config server HTTP localhost 8065. So when I run any of the microservices, let's see if I can just get you some of the information, or maybe other more information where it will tell how it is fetching the information. See, if you could look at in order and payment service which I run just now, you can see fetching a config from 8065. What is 8065? 8065 is my cloud config server where I configured all the details. This is the which I have added here. So in the console it is showing like you are fetching all the configuration from 8065. Now let us see in the Eureka whether it is registered or not. So if you look at my Eureka server instance, see, order and payment service and catalog service are registered through the cloud config server, and that cloud config server has the details of this Eureka server. So it's a simple use case. You can see now I have commented this Eureka from my actual microservices, but this information you have in your cloud config server as a common configuration. So whatever you create, all the microservices or n number of microservices, you just need to add one line of a code or one line of a configuration over there to access just the common configuration. That is nothing but like your cloud config server configuration. That's all in this tutorial. So I'll come up with next set of tutorial for the series. Thank you. Thanks a lot.